This week's episode of the Darren Yumz podcast is brought to you by Nonsense List. Are you a nonce who would like to be hidden from the public? Are you somebody who wants to footer with children and get away with it? Well, if you go to nonsenselist.com, you will see / Epstein didn't kill himself. You can get yourself onto a list that means you'll never be discovered for any of your crimes and the people will let you away with. Nev, play the fucking intro.
Yeah, what's up, motherfuckers?
Yes, welcome back to the Darren Yumz podcast. We're back 2024, first one of the year, and I am very delighted we have a special co-host with me today, all the way via Belfast, via Bestbrook, or Bestbrook via Belfast. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Darren Matthews. Darren Matthews.
Hello, Connor. You didn't warn me you were going to do that. I didn't know those intros if Mickey wasn't here. That was
well. That you probably would have heard your laughter in the background there. Yes.
No, sorry, that's going to be edited.
That's a good sign. It worked all right. Yes. So Mickey being away means yes, we have to do our own ads. As you know, we're not sponsored by anybody because who the fuck would sponsor this?
Who's putting their name to this possible liability? Yeah.
Possible liability. A complete liability.
No, sorry, libelous. That's the word.
Libelous. That's the one. Yes. So yes, you're all very welcome back. 2024. Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year to you too, sir. Thanks
and
for having me.
To all our listeners, thank you very much for sticking by us. And we're going to have a few weeks of guests now for the coming months. I don't know how long the hibernation is down under.
You've accidentally started a chat show.
I have got. I don't know. It might actually have been started. All right. I don't know how long it's going to be, but he's already started recording over there.
Has he?
Yeah. So as we speak at this moment in time, Maggie Bartlett is trying to deal with technology. So you could probably hear the cursing from here.
Oh, Jesus. So are you going to be like Live Aid? We now take you to Philadelphia for Brian Adams.
Yeah. And then, like Phil Collins, he's going to jump on a fucking Concorde and make his way here for the end of the episode.
And then Led Zeppelin will blame him for how badly they play. Showing our age there, everybody. If you don't know what that is,
yes,
Google it. Yeah.
Live Aid, that is showing our age, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, so, I mean, very welcome. Mickey normally brings me gifts every week and stuff like that, but I don't know what you brought, but don't worry about it. It's grand. All right.
I've got something. Do you have a Tesco Club card?
No, so if you don't know Darren is one of our fellow comedians. If you haven't seen Darren yet, where have you been? Because obviously you're not following the comedy scene. Darren, you've been on the scene the same length of time as myself. We were roughly around about the same time.
A wee bit longer, because I was at your first ever gig, which was in Daly. So I was at the competition. You did your first ever show. My
first ever show. Were you hosting that night?
No, I was on it.
You were on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who was on that night? Because Niamh Marn, yourself, myself.
That's mostly the ones I remember.
Was Woodsy on it?
I think Rory Woods might have been on it. And then would Terry have been hosting then?
Terry Keys might have been hosting. I don't know why I thought Mickey was there, but no, he wouldn't have been there maybe the first night.
I just remember because you had the head shaved at that point, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
That was pre-quiff.
Right. Yeah, it was pre-quiff. I always had it shaved, yeah. That's right, that was the competition night. And that was the very first lesson I had as a comedian of do not trust competitions.
I actually thought my set went well, and then Niamh Marn went up, and I was like, all right, fuck it, I haven't won. And then you went up, and I was like, oh, definitely haven't won. But it's the, as you said, the stacked, and then it's okay. I mean, comedy doesn't belong teaching you lessons, so I'm sure.
Fuck, on the very first night I learned that because I, like yourself, watched Niamh Marn absolutely destroy the place. And I just thought, what's the point? But then I remembered it's an audience vote.
Yes.
And 95% of the audience are people I brought with me, so it might be okay.
It.
Even all my mates were like, you should have given her half the money. And I was like, go ahead, fuck yourself.
You're like, I'm new to this. I didn't know there was some sort of honor among thieves, okay?
So yeah, that was my first time. And actually, after that, I think I did maybe 2 competitions. And the same thing happened to me as what happened in Niamh.
You actually had a good gig.
I had one of the best on the night, and somebody who was absolutely awful won it. And I was like, oh, that's what that feels like. Okay.
I'm actually now you've reminded me of this. I'm not your friend. Go fuck yourself. No, it's great.
So yeah, we've been motoring along through the fucking wilderness of the comedy scene, because long before all this SSA arenas and waterfronts and all this sort of shit, we were in back end pubs of fucking...
Yeah, before it was fucking popular, you pricks.
Out in fucking Dunnamana to 6 people.
Now, come on, there was a dog there too.
Oh, there was. Actually, I don't really know why I'm saying this was years ago. That happened to me about 3 months ago in Pug Uglies.
Can we point out as well that I think people need to realise that, I mean, with music, so we do both. When you do music, you don't go from Carnegie Hall back to your local INF.
No.
But with comedy, you can do an arena and then you can, by all means, do the INF.
Yes. I did exactly that happened to me. I went to, I think it was the Opera House with Murphy. Did the Opera House that night, and then the following night I did like a primary school raffle thing.
You know what? I'm not even laughing. That's feasible, totally feasible.
Just the way the calendar worked out.
Yeah.
And the career. But so we've all done that sort of shit of like primary school and stuff, and community events and raffles and MC and stuff. But as time goes on now, you do find yourself, thankfully, being removed from those things a wee bit. You don't get asked as much because I think they assume you're gonna charge a fortune, so they don't come near you.
Well, I did a gig the other day where I was really looking forward to doing 10 minutes and then getting off site because I had plans, and then I was with 3 minutes to go to the show. I was asked to MC because the MC wasn't there.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, that's still happening. Cool. So yeah.
Oh, because that changes everything. Being
I had it all in my head.
Well, even time wise, because an act versus an MC means you're there all night.
Exactly. So I had plans, and then the plans, everything was off, but it was for charity, so I felt really bad. I was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. Let's get it going. But
yeah, MC is, I always say MC is the hardest job because you're the only act that's there all night. You're there, right? Any other act can come up, do their 20 minutes and go home if they want, you know.
And you're the only act that will have your ego absolutely crushed, when those nights when you feel you're really working and someone will wander up to you after the show and go, mate, you're really funny. You should do comedy as well. And you're like, how do you think I got this job?
There's no better fucking life affirmation than somebody come up to you after you've done comedy and go, you should try comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Or whenever you look online and there's photos of all the acts and you're like, where am I? Was I not on as well? But you're only the MC. See?
Oh, never say those fateful words, let me tell you.
All MCs are comedians, not all comedians are MCs.
Abso-fucking-lutely. That is the golden rule there.
I have left people in charge before and got phone calls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, straight in with the, good evening, everybody. 10 minutes of material of just the darkest, weirdest shit you've ever heard, and now your first act. There's also nothing worse as like an act, and when that happens, you just get thrown to the lions, and you're like, sure, I'll try and get them back here, will I?
Or an MC goes, I've written a poem. Actually, you know what? Any comedian that says, I've written a poem, fuck off. But if an MC does it, you're like, oh no, this is not going to be good.
Yeah, I'm going to leave you to this.
Yeah. Oh.
I once did a gig in Australia, and the MC did magic tricks.
Right.
Like he was like, basically like juggling and play. It was like a variety act thing. It was real vaudeville, an older guy. And then as I was about to go on stage, one of my mates tapped me on the shoulder. He went, it's going to be hard to follow that magic. And I was like, it was literal magic. It was actual card tricks. If I can pick a card. I'm like, what is happening here? But any word from the child?
Sure, he's doing well. Sure, he's Christmas all over him there, and he was crying. I don't know what he was crying the other night, and he was all homesick and full of whiskey. And
did Santa find him at his new address?
I don't know, but somebody emptied their sack. I know that. I don't know if it was.
I hope it wasn't Mickey either.
No, he's doing good. He's enjoying it. He's as I say, he's recording over there now. He bought podcast material equipment.
Oh, very nice. Well, he's in my old where I lived in Perth as well. So it is. I can't confirm around Christmas time. It's fucking lovely. The weather's class, although it depends, I suppose, what you want from Christmas.
Well, I was going to say, yeah.
I did once force myself to eat a Christmas dinner on Christmas when it was about 40 degrees outside. Terrible plan.
No.
So the next year we just had a barbecue and it was much easier.
Yes. Barbecue turkey? No.
Didn't try. Maybe a turkey crown. Maybe next year.
We crown. But no, he's doing all right. He's enjoying it, and he's been gigging away, and then he's been drinking away, of course. Mickey being Mickey. He had the fucking baller lifestyle on the way out, of course, decided to treat himself to first class or business class on his flight out.
Can you write that off in the tax?
He thinks he can.
We're about to find out. Stay tuned for April 1st episode.
And I just thought, when I heard he was doing it, I went, oh no. oh no. And when he texted me midair and went, I've just ordered an old-fashioned on an airplane, I went, that's it. We are fucked. We are doomed, ladies and gentlemen. Maggie Bartlett has got the taste of business class and will not come back from it.
No, what's wild about that is, obviously, if you're on... But I mean, when you do a long-haul flight, the drink's usually free anyway. Qatar Airlines, Singapore Airlines, all that.
Yeah, I think it's you can get a beer or a vodka, Coke or whiskey, but he was getting an old-fashioned, a cocktail made for himself. So he thought this was...
Just some of your shirt beside him going, Mr. Bartlett, here you go.
He'd be in his fucking element. So I don't know if he'll fly any other way. We mightn't get him home unless it's business class. We might have to do it.
Well, he's not going to be flying business class internally in Australia, and I tell you not, their internal in-flights are awful.
Is that right?
Tiger Airways and all these real...
Oh, right.
You know, they make Ryanair look posh.
Oh, fuck, right.
Yeah.
Well, we might have to set up a GoFundMe page
to get him back
because he won't fly normal anymore.
Yeah.
With the regular people. But
all
no, he's sunburnt to fuck at the moment, obviously, because the other day, as anybody who follows him on Instagram will see, he forgot the sun cream.
Yeah, Maggie, if you're listening, there's a wee thing they do out in Australia called slip, slap, slop, which is basically about the amount you're supposed to put on. Put on more than you need and put a fucking hat in your head, sir. For a man who just jokes about losing his hair, put a fucking hat on.
From one ginger to another.
Exactly. Trust me.
It must be, when you were out there, when's the last time you were out in Australia?
2018, I was out doing a couple of gigs on my way back from Asia.
Right. And, red-haired fellas from Ireland don't do well in the sun, normally.
I have a cousin there 12 years, he's having a great time.
No bother. Having a good time in the shade.
Do you know why? Massive hat. Sombrero. Our Mark's running about in this fucking... And also, a litre of Factor 50 is only $10. So, you know here, where a wee bottle of stuff's about £17. Mm-hmm. So you can actually afford to avoid skin cancer in Australia. Because
I don't know if this was like an urban myth, but there was something years ago about, like, they don't allow you to buy stuff to aid sunbathing. Is that right?
Oh, so you can't be... Yeah,
like bronze and stuff, or like, there's people here that pretty much put fucking baby oil on themselves.
Crisp and dry.
Yeah. But there's some law over there, something you can't... They really frown against it. Not to encourage to go out with anything...
Well, as a country, they have the highest rates of skin cancer in the world. If that's not Mother Nature telling you white people you're not supposed to be on that bit of fucking ground.
Yeah, maybe that's...
Here, the native population are not very pale.
No.
Yeah, evolution sorted that out for them. You've arrived 200 years ago and just made a mess of the place.
And then your boys in Bestbrook landing.
Exactly.
Fucks up
and then we're building the bits the Brits wrecked. So it's not too bad.
The gene pool's completely fucked now.
Absolutely. There is a thing, though, in Western Australia, years ago, there was a shipwreck of guys from the Netherlands, because they were the first people to find it. Basically, that's where Tasmania was Van Diemen's Land and all that stuff. Right. There was a shipwreck, and then they found people they still have genetics in their blue eyes. So there's indigenous Australian people with blue eyes. And I was like, oh. So all these Dutch sailors swam ashore and went, sure, it'll have to do. For the rest of our lives.
Sure, we can't be out raping and pillaging if we don't do any raping.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So,
here we are.
Yeah. Excellent. So Mickey's genetics hopefully will remain in Armagh.
Well, no, he's got himself an Australian woman now. He might never come back.
No, I don't know. The only good thing about it was, which I found very strange, but obviously because of her living where she lives, is she loved the weather here.
That is strange. It's the flip, isn't it?
And I was like, you what? And she was like, oh my God, so like I can wear clothes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I never think about 40-degree heat. It's just, at Christmas time, it's not something within the rest of the year. But all this idea of being surrounded by dust and just arid land, and like, then she comes here and sees all this fucking greenery and cows. And
where Tay's from is like proper country.
Right.
So it's just, just wheat fields and fucking nothing. So, dust, desert, whatever. Yeah. So that versus over here where she's here with a coat on going, oh, it's lovely. And you're insane.
Yeah, you are mental.
Yeah. Do you know what? We all have like seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
And she's running around and be like, oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Do you know the lengths we go to whenever we see a glimpse of the sun?
Do you know I once...
Imagine we got fucking 40-degree heat all summer. Imagine 3 months of sunshine. Nobody would go back to work in this country.
I once didn't see a cloud for 5 months. And when I lived in Perth, I was like, blue again.
That would be a bit surreal.
It gets a bit Groundhog Day, because you're like, you need a seasonal change. They go, there it is.
A couple of weeks is what the max we'll get. But 5 months, I don't know. But then again, would you fucking notice you'd be sweating that much? Would you notice there's no clouds?
At this
I
point
know
here,
I would be anyway.
I mean, at this point here, I don't know if the seasonal change due to the weather. I know it because like the orange bands start up again. I'm like, oh, it's May.
Oh, the March. When the springtime.
Springtime, yeah.
I don't want to sing that, but yeah, don't make that association. But
I enjoyed that you got that immediately from the rest. See this?
Hey,
Hive mind.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
I know.
It's fucking dangerous.
That there is. It's the idea of we're all there, and then I always do that when I'm talking to people in the audience. If you ever find somebody who's from somewhere else, and I'm like, "Who'd you come back with?" and it's always some fucker that's been over living for a few years, and then they're like, "Do you want to come back and live beside my man, Cookstown?"
And then
some woman that's grown up in the suburbs of Melbourne, she's like, "Oh, I live in fucking Cookstown now."
Yeah, and they end up doing exactly what we do, is just getting a drinking problem. Yeah, that's the way to cope with the weather and the rain. Eventually it gets you.
I did once do a thing where I didn't do winter for 3 years. I just kept moving hemisphere. I went from like New Zealand to Canada to Australia to Ireland, back to New Zealand, back to Canada. I was like, I'm not fucking doing this cold weather at all.
That's some way of saving on oil heating. So you won't have it
the
on.
The airfares though.
Especially if flying business class with Mickey.
Yeah. When I kept travelling, my younger brother used to always call me Peter Pan because I refused to grow up. And I was like, I fucking wish I have to pay to fly.
But there were children's fares you were looking for. That's the problem.
I'm short enough, but
that beard,
once I grew the beard,
the beard fucked you.
Used to be clean shaven.
So listen, how was Christmas? A good time?
Christmas was okay. I made the foolish mistake, as I always do, of we go for pints on Christmas morning because there's a local establishment that is definitely not open. And so we were in there, as we always do. We go and meet my dad for a few pints, and then I go home half cut, have my dinner, and then I very foolishly went to bed, which you should never do, because I woke up hungover. So Christmas night I was hanging at a family party with about 40 people, choking down a Heineken. Not recommended. And then I didn't drink till about New Year's Eve. I had one pint, and I was like, awful.
Yeah, I was the same. Actually, never went out. We had the obviously the comedians night out.
Was that your last go?
That was the last go before Christmas, and then
you had a gig. You playing with the band? You not see you sitting in a pub over Christmas time?
Yes, but that was water. All water only. There's no pints there.
Just you had to do load out and organise, or you just weren't fired after the last go?
I knew I had the child in the morning, first thing, so I was like, fuck that, not going up a hangover.
The main thing that really annoyed me was Comedians Christmas. I drank from 3 to 12, and I woke up the next day and not a bother. I was home with a pizza and, pint of water before bed. Christmas morning, 3 pints, buggered for about 4 days. I was like, there's no justice in drinking anymore.
Doesn't make any sense.
My metabolism makes no sense anymore.
No. I woke up in the hotel room after the comedians do, and I don't remember how I got there. And
did you not tell us after you left you met other people that you didn't even know? Sorry, when I say met, I mean for the first time.
So I went out for
Connor Batman at Smoke Bomb gone.
Yeah, well, smoking was one of the reasons. So I went for a smoke away from the front door of the establishment we were in, and the establishment we were in is close to another establishment. So I was closer to their door than I was to our door, and then a fella and a girl came walking past me like, "Oh, Yumz." And I was like, "Hey, what's crack?" And fucking, of course, as you do. And morning was, of course, I didn't end up. And like, I don't know, about 15 minutes, I was like, why am I at this recruitment agency's Christmas party? And
were you doing a tight 20? Was it a corporate?
I like at one point, I was obviously, I do apologize to the recruitment company, whoever they are, because I don't know what I said or what I did. I don't think I did anything wrong, but I also don't remember. So,
well, look, there was nothing in the Sunday World about your anti-Semitism.
Next morning I was waiting to see photographs or videos or something, but no, thankfully. But I do remember like just trays of shots coming at all. Like as soon as one was done, another one was going. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Do you know what? At that time of the night,
I never bought one fucking tray of them. Anyway.
At that time of night, that's exactly what you needed. 6 more shots.
Yes. And then I woke up and there was like 2 crisp bags and 3 chocolate bars lying on the ground empty, and I was like, "Oh, I went to a shop." Who's got the CCTV of that?
Oh, I talk to sober people.
Or there's a vending machine in the hotel that I found that I didn't know about. I don't know where they came from.
Keezy drinking is basically the plot of the movie Memento.
Yeah, go back, work it stepwards. If every 15 minutes, go back on yourself and find out.
Find a new Polaroid. Oh, fuck, yeah. I was here.
That was what I was fearful of. I was fearful of like the photos that will be of the recruitment agency, whoever they were. I don't know. And like me making a fucking dick of myself with their, I don't know, No, my luck is probably HR. It'll be
not the person to be saying the inappropriate jokes.
Exactly. But then fuck them. I don't work these. You know what I mean? And thanks for the shots.
Yeah.
And I don't know who.
And if you do work for that recruitment agency, fucking keep it to yourself. Just fuck up.
I don't know who the boy and girl were, but fair play to you. I know the boy. I don't know if you were together, but I know he was definitely trying to get together with you. So I hope that worked out for you, friend. That's all I can remember.
Love that that's your one memory of hanging out with him. Fucking.
I know he was trying
Connor
to
Cilla Black Keys.
And no, do you know, I remember is because when I first seen him, I thought, fuck, he's punching.
Oh, why?
Right? And then as the time went on, I'd realised, they're not actually together, but he's definitely trying. And I was like, fair play to you, good man.
Okay. Well, you survived that. Did you then survive Christmas? Because Santa still goes to your house, doesn't he?
Santa comes. Yeah.
Santa Yumz, really, but yeah.
Santa Yumz. Ruby doesn't really. She kind of gets it. She gets, if you said to her, Santa's coming, she's all excited. What's he bringing you? Sweets. You know, it's that sort of stuff. She doesn't really.
That would excite me too.
It excites me as well. But no, so we had Stars in Their Eyes, actually. That was the thing we had before Christmas. We had the Stars in Their Eyes in Limelight with Tea With Me podcast.
So you all tatted up?
All tatted up, I know. Rag and Bone Man was... My own brothers seen my wife and daughter's Snapchats and were like, I didn't even know Rag and Bone Man was playing in Belfast. Right? And as I spoke to one of them later on the next day, and I said to him, did you not see, did you not realise it was me? He goes, no, I did not see the rest of them. He goes, do you know what? I seen then Shane Todd, and I thought, does Shane Todd know Rag and Bone Man?
Was that really the process of deduction?
I know. They still didn't even associate the fact that it was me.
Nice work, Poirot.
my brothers aren't that bright, but it was surreal actually. I was annoyed because I fucked up the when I went out, and they had asked me, did I want the music as I walked out, or did I want it when I got there? And I said, well, I'd rather when I got there. But then they said, we'll play it when you start going out. I said, that's grand. But when I got out there, the fucking mic stand wouldn't come up.
Oh, right. So you were going to sing.
So I had this, because I watched him, obviously, to watch his videos, and he choreographs it where he sings mic in stand for the first two verses, of course, and then he does the big fucking reveal, pulls it out of the mic stand and does the big. And so because the music has started as I'm walking out on stage, I'm already 2 bars in. And I know,
time.
And there's no backing, it's a backing track, so I know I've got 4 bars, and I'm like 2 bars into the stage, the mic's not coming up. And I was like, fuck me, I'm going to have to do all this now. Off mic or off stand. So I got it, literally got it. There's a video of me on my Instagram, you'll see me where I get it off the mic stand just in time to sing. And then the whole time in my head, I'm like, what am I going to do now? How am I going to fucking move my hands? Or how am I going to do anything? Because
you're like, I have a whole plan here.
I had this in my head, and then I fucked up by singing the third verse second and all that sort of crack. And I was like, Jesus. Nobody in the audience really noticed, if anybody, unless they were uber Rag and Bone Man fans, they would have noticed that the wrong verse was in the wrong way. But it just, in your head, you're constantly, and this is all happening as I'm singing, going, where the fuck am I going? How am I going to do the big fucking, at the end, the big moment he has, the big. I was like, fuck this, and I just continued on, go through it.
I love the idea of you just really grooving the first verse, and when you go to start the second, somebody who's really digging it, you hit the wrong start of it, and they just go.
That's it. You're done, fat man. Get the fuck out of my sight.
What is it? No, do you know what? I was actually gutted I wasn't asked to be involved in that, because they really missed the trick, because you guys could have all said at the start of it, tonight, Matthews, I'm going to be.
That would have been fucking superb, actually. I never thought of that.
Sure, here.
No, he had Andrew Ryan, so it was tonight, Andrew. I did think, we're getting extremely close, if not complete, to a comedian's band.
I've pitched this before.
Yeah.
Why has this not already happened? We have a multitude of guitar players, bassists.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know, but I think bass might be the only thing we're stuck for.
Geordie's a former bass player.
Geordie play bass?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
School band kind of thing.
So you play guitar, Murphy plays guitar.
I play drums.
You play drums. Geddes can play a bit of guitar.
Yes, so I believe.
Kieran obviously can play.
Yes.
And sing, and myself. Shane can play great air guitar.
Yeah, so I saw his rehearsal for Stars in Your Eyes.
He can do air guitar. He can kind of do falsetto, but not really.
Do we know anybody who rocks a glockenspiel? Do we have a string quartet in us? Full horn section?
Well, Teresa, obviously, on keyboards. So Teresa,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know what? She'd probably be raging because she's like a proper trained grade 8 musician.
Oh, wow.
Having to deal with us going, right, just follow me for the changes. You ready? What?
Also amateurs.
Yeah. If it's not in 4, fuck off.
Yeah, we should work on that. We should try and get a band together. But no, I did notice that night actually that there's an awful lot of talent within our. Like Butler can fucking sing. I was a shock to me now.
Butler does the musical theatre.
I knew that.
So he can sing and dance.
That doesn't doing musical theatre doesn't mean you can actually sing. It just means you do musical theatre. But he can actually sing, and his dancing was fucking unreal. And that's where the microphone thing problem for me came about because he was the first act. He had a head mic, like a Britney mic.
Oh, he had the Madonna mic, didn't he?
So he didn't use the mic stand. So I was the first person to use it, and that's when they realized it was fucking broke. But during sound check, I knew when Thompson did the sound check, I looked at it. I was like, that's the winner there.
I didn't see his sound check, but then everyone was saying on the night it was real. Just get everybody up and excitable.
I just knew from the song, but I also knew he had to get it right.
Yes,
and he fucking did.
So if you go off beat,
word for word, yeah. And then the sound check was harder for him than the actual performance because in the sound check he had to do word for word every word. But because the audience knew every word, some of them finished the lines for him. Do you know in that sense? So I gave him a wee breather, and it was perfect for him.
But rappers have that. That's why rappers have a hype man.
But the
guy who finishes the sentence
in the sound check, he did every fucking word for word, and I was like, "That's it."
I didn't need a man Inhaler to do that. So,
nah, I couldn't get over it. I said this, and I said to Shane as well. Shane was like, "Oh, because no, somebody said to me they were talking on Q Radio. Maybe Andrew Ryan said something about me being like the favorite or something." And I said to Shane on the sound check, if I win, that means you have fucked up.
That's no faith in your own.
No, but in my head, I knew all I'm doing is the singing.
Okay.
I didn't actually think about the costume, but I knew the singing. I wasn't dancing, I wasn't moving, I wasn't, and I wasn't going to get the crowd G'd up with fucking that song. It just wasn't going to happen. I knew Shane's song was going to be brilliant. I knew Dave was going to be class, and I knew William was going to be brilliant, and they were the ones on the night that were fucking unreal.
Okay.
Kieran doing this fucking live medley. Just showing off. Like.
Now, the funny thing was, Kieran didn't want to do that. He maintains that he was bullied into it.
Well,
and I said, well, now, Kieran, this is because you don't do confrontation.
Yeah.
If you ever want to hang off Kieran Bartlett, just ask him to his face and he can't say no to you.
Yeah, he doesn't want to say no. I said to Chloe, Kieran's missus, I wanted us to do Tenacious D. I thought the two of us doing
superb
tribute would have been fucking
next
amazing.
year, baby.
Next year, baby. But no, I mean you couldn't have beat Thompson. He was fucking brilliant. But everybody, Paddy's English accent, fucking unbelievable. Doing Prodigy,
and he can rave. He knows he's well versed in the raving.
His beloved partner, his wife, did a great job on the fucking costume, getting them all ready and putting together. Like it was class looking. And my wife as well did all the fucking research and getting tattoos and.
How do we look?
The door, the lift door opened to get the dressing room. I was heading down for a smoke, and it was like Kev Bartlett and Diona and a few other ones, and they all sort of looked and went hello, and then they looked again and went, oh, fuck you. They had no idea. It was the tattoos.
I think the main thing, absolute credit to everybody that nobody turned it into a minstrel show.
No. Yeah. No.
Nobody got cancelled for a joke. So well done, everybody.
No.
Very discreetly handled.
Diona did Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
But again, there was no minstrels involved, thankfully. Yes. There was a fake ass, but
But that's okay. That's true to form. Nicki Minaj has a fake ass, so
yeah.
Spot on, well done.
Move swiftly along in case we get any bother there.
More levels.
But yeah, and I thought Haggerty fucking doing United States
Liam
or whatever. Lynch. Yeah, that's the timing of that he was very impressive. Also the timing of the track, because the Sneaky Bastard had like a 1 minute 18 track, and I was like, that's fucking deadly.
He's delighted. Yeah, just get up.
That's the way to do it. Like, yeah, because my original thing was Meatloaf. I was going to do Meatloaf.
I would, but like full album version, 9 minutes.
That's the problem. You see, if you do, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. It's
5 minutes.
There's a 9 minute version, I think.
The radio edit.
Yeah, radio edit. But then you're still. It's a very sad fucking song. You know what I mean? And then my fear was, I was like, this is Shane's audience, and like, would they all know who the fuck Meatloaf even is?
Also, is there not a bit at the end of Anything for Love, and it's a duet? Was that Meatloaf's ex-wife sings in that?
That's why I thought...
There's a man was punching all his life.
Oh, fucking what? That's why I thought of Teresa, actually. I thought I'd give Teresa a shout if I was going to do it, that she could come out and do the sort of thing. But no, it never came to fruition. I just thought, check it out of it. And, yeah.
Like, anything that has like too big a production, you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna bother.
Well, do you know what? Actually, the costume thing, this is not the fault of the organizers. This is totally my fault. But they did put it in the message that, there's a prize for. Sorry, there's a prize for the charity of your choice. So I knew that, but then during the sound check, I genuinely, and this is not like being humble or anything, I genuinely was like, oh, Williams won this. So I kind of checked out a bit. I thought, what the fuck's the point? There's nobody going to beat that. Just for this, the performance and the song, and then the costume. I was like, that's fucking. So then they all went to Nando's, and they're like, you coming? I was like, nah, fuck it. I promised the wife I would do the rest of these tattoos because she spent all the time getting the fucking things bought.
Yeah.
So I put tattoos. Like, my arms were already done, but I put them in my hands and my fucking my face and everything. And then as I'm standing at the side of the fucking stage, after having all this done and everybody going, oh, that looks class, I'm standing in the wings. Andrew announces £1,000 prize for best performance and a £500 prize for best costume. I was like, oh fuck, I didn't know there was a costume. I was like, thank fuck I did the extra effort of doing it.
Yeah, okay.
And then I won the best costume on the night. So £500 to a charity of my choice. So that was deadly. But again, I was like, fuck, I don't know what. The comedy gods were looking down at me. It made me think, go and get the rest of the tattoos on.
Don't let anyone ever tell you that quitting is bad.
Absolutely. Because I had to do all like the soul and funk and all this, which I changed to fuck and soul, just to annoy the band. Fuck soul. But
what was your chosen charity?
Ruby's school, Arvalee, the Arvalee Special Needs School here in Noma.
Quite literally close to home.
Literally close to home, yeah. So, so it was deadly. I was like, fuck, I might have a chance here. But then Paddy's was very good. Paddy's was fucking brilliant. His costume was great. He did look like him. But
you're like, I'm in with the shot, and then the door opens, you're like, fuck.
I know. You're like, fuck you, Paddy, on. But no.
There's not even any stairs I can make him have an accident on. It's got a lift.
But yeah, it was very good.
And you had a bit of time off over Christmas, or was it just the one gig?
Yeah, that was me. No, I did Lavery's the night after the Stars in Their Eyes, and that was me. I purposely had no... I was going to say no gigs of any kind, but I did have a wee sneaky one in that pub that you seen on the 20th there last week.
What did the band think of the Splinter group? What is it with this country? We love a Splinter group.
We do love a wee dissident or music group. No, it was just... it was a... What would you call it? My wife says another venture.
It looked like a jam. You were sort of sitting around. I love that. That's really cool.
It's literally a wee booth in Neville Note in McCann's, and I wanted to do a bit of blues music, and it was so much easier getting 4 people than 10 people for rehearsals.
Yeah, and it's also, a wee booth is basically one drum kit and 3 people sitting on top of each other in the corner.
It was fucking great.
It's just class, isn't it?
See, when you're doing like the other stuff with the Committed, which is great and I love it and all the rest, but it's me who's organising it. So I'm doing like the posters.
You have the group chat and everybody and
the Instagram, organising rehearsals, the rehearsal space, the venue, the tickets, the lights, the sound, the fucking
Connor, this is how I ended up being a comedian, because I got sick of doing this with other musicians.
Well, that's how. So I was doing that, and then this one was like, I brought the PA in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I didn't come back into the bar till 10:15. And I just turned it on, sat down, and I was like, "This is the way to fucking do this."
This is the job, yeah.
That other crack, as good as it is, it's an event. Whereas this was just like a jam, basically, like the play, and it was great.
That's nice. We'll do this because the guys you play with are all top players, so they're all like, "Do you know that one? Yeah, I know everything you want me to do here." So,
that was the other problem too, because our guitarist is Jerome McGlynn, and Jerome's dad would have been Artie McGlynn, the famous guitarist, and just a fucking amazing talent, just unreal. But normally when I'm on stage with him in the big band, he's behind me, so I'm not really getting to. As a guitar player or a shitty guitar player,
but then you can see him
and around the circle, I was sitting there, I was like, how are you? And then I forgot I had to sing. Yeah. I was like, oh, fuck, I have to sing now. Like, still staring, just like a fanboy, just watching him.
He hits the big high one at the end of the solo, like, I'm back.
It's not, I just don't even know what he's doing. I just don't know what he's actually doing. That's the fucking annoying thing.
This is the weird thing. I mean, you talk about the comedy scene here being so talented. Every fucking town in this country has the best musicians that you've never heard of.
Yeah, every town.
And they're all just playing in pubs. They probably all started the same way we did, which was in a garage with your mates, and then, life happens and you all end up in pub bands or in wedding bands or whatever. But then you go see them whenever they're just hanging out playing. Oh my fucking Jesus.
Because that's what I said to my wife. He goes, oh, is this another band? I was like, no. I was like, this is like you going out with the girls for dinner.
Yeah.
I'm
drinking water.
I'm drinking water. I'm just going out and I'm just hanging out and I'm not looking to make anything out of this or do anything anymore with it. It just happens to be a one-off thing. But yeah, it's because Jerome is like, I mean, as I say, he's a fucking genius. You would know him, Nev. You would have seen him in action. But I said to him one at the last rehearsal. Our second rehearsal was the night of the gig. So I was like, oh, okay. Well,
set list written on a napkin. Here we go.
We had the set list for a while. We just never actually physically got together to do it. So one time we got through it, and the second time was at the gig. But he said to me something. He was like, I said, were you playing last night? He goes like, Connor, if you're not playing, I'm not playing.
Right?
I was like, oh, fuck. And he's, yeah. I said, I don't have a band. I'm not part of a band. I was like, fuck, that's mental.
You're joking me. You're just sitting in the house noodling away.
Just with that level of genius, just not playing all the time. Like, it's mad. Like, it's crazy.
I remember about years ago, the two brothers, fantastic guitar players I knew from back in Uri, and one of them used to just sit up in the attic playing guitar, and you'd pop in, go up and meet them, get a cup of tea, and sit watching them play. And I'm like, why are you not doing this for a living?
Mm-hmm.
Now he's like a professor of mathematics, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense for a guitar player.
Jerome's our same. Our guitarist is some fucking mad.
Yeah,
fucking, I don't know.
But there is something that if you ever get your kids into playing musical instruments, it definitely improves everything else going on.
Oh fuck, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I started very late with music too, so I was very annoyed at that, and then eventually fell out of it because I was just sick of dealing with all musicians.
How late are you talking?
Started when I was 16. Yeah,
not too bad.
I also got very screwed over. I was thinking of like generational thing. One of my older brothers got like Britpop. Yes. And then the other older brother, he would have got like Guns N' Roses, Nirvana kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I got like Limp Bizkit. Yeah. So a bit of a screw job. And it's only that you only discover then good bands by going and reading the liner notes of the bands you're listening to, going, I'll go check them out. And then you're like, this is way better. Of course they influence these fuckers.
Can't explain that to young people.
Liner notes.
Not just that whole process. Like how you heard of bands or how you found out about bands. Yeah. Because, okay, there was magazines, but there was no internet. There was no way of chat forums or any of that or fucking social media. So you were just constantly, as you say, liner notes or a band being interviewed on TV, and they're like, well, my biggest idol is, and you're like, who the fuck's that? Yeah. I remember that happening with somebody. Stone Roses. I remember listening to Stone Roses, loving them, and then they mentioned Joy Division, and I'm going, who the fuck's Joy Division? Aye. And then you go back and you're like, what the fuck?
And then like, have any new stuff coming out?
Yeah.
No. But Peter Hook is still busy.
New Order. There we go. But yeah, so there's now obviously with Spotify, Jesus Christ, and the amount of ways of finding music. But then you didn't know, especially if you want to find out about the history of music. Yes. Like old bands,
back catalogs.
If your dad's like my dad, who for some unknown reason likes Celine Dion, you're not going to find decent music taste there. So you have to try and find it elsewhere to see where where would you get how would you find out about fucking Led Zeppelin, first of all? Well, if you're sitting in your bedroom and you're listening to Atlantic 252, properly showing my age now, there's no Led Zeppelin been played there, so. No, definitely not. Dusty Roads, Long Wave Radio, Atlantic 252. Well, definitely. But if you're under the age of 30, just go watch something else. Yeah. But the bands, when you were younger playing in bands, that was the other way too, because you always ended up in a band with somebody whose dad was cool. Yes. Whose dad did have vinyl and who did have Led Zeppelin or who did have The Who or whatever, and you're like, oh, okay, I know that now.
And then there's always great stories about people like Metallica who got famous on the tape trading scene, which was all free music, and then Lars Ulrich tried to sue Napster. So you can't be giving away the music for free. I'm like, that's how you became a fucking band. Nobody knew who you were until this demo was going around. So that stuff, and then I mean, not really in my house. My mum actually probably had a better music taste than my dad. My dad would have had the show bands. If you don't know what the show bands is, it's when rock and roll showed up in Ireland 15 years too late, basically. Yeah. And he went to the dances, and then my mum would have kind of had like ABBA, Bay City Rollers, but then like Radio Luxembourg, Pirate Radio, that was kind of her generation, which sounds, I mean, I don't know if it was cool, but nostalgically speaking, it sounds class.
Sounds deadly, doesn't it? Always.
Have you ever seen stuff like The Boat That Rocked and all that?
That's a good show.
Yeah, 60s, 70s music. Pirate Radio was a big deal, and it looked like the coolest thing ever.
It was, it was their equivalent of podcasts.
Quite similar.
Off the radar, it was, you could do and say whatever you wanted to put on, and you could play music that wasn't played anywhere else. Yeah. Well, I mean, was your music through school? Did you end up with a band in school, just another bunch of fucking idiots? So in school, there was constantly, I was never out of bands. But I was shy at everything, do you know, that sort of way? But thought it was great at everything. I was like, I'm still shy at everything. Yeah. I was a shy drummer, shy guitar player, shy bass player, shy saxophone player. Shade singer, really. But there's that great bit of advice is get in a garage with your mates. You're going to be terrible.
And then you will eventually get better.
I learned very early on, if you surround yourself with very, very talented people, your lack of talent doesn't show as much.
Yes.
And I've lived by that to this day.
I've done that where
Hence this podcast.
Get better by jumping in with people that are better than you.
Nev's agreeing here in the background.
Nev's like, you can't even turn this fucking camera off.
No, but Nev plays the band as well. Nev plays in the Cool Hand String Band.
Oh, Nev, what do you play?
Guitar
and sing.
Yeah.
And you're fucking... Why aren't you here?
Because he's wild looking. I'm going to shave him.
As if we're the fucking example.
Oil paintings that we are. Like. But yeah, it's a weird one because that's where like a lot of our education came from musically, was in those bands. Sorry, somebody keeps trying to fucking ring me. And I was constantly shifting through bands, different things, and we were getting to play in pubs, which I don't think younger bands now are getting as much the opportunity to do so.
Oma would have had the top of the town then.
That was even later stage. We would have been early. We would have been like I think we were the last school year to play in the Royal Arms Hotel.
I don't even know it. No.
It was like the last ever. Like it was a shambles at this stage. It was closing down, but we were one of the last ones to play there. And then there was the Omatown Football Club. We played there a couple of times, but then
put them out of business too.
No. Then the fucking Ravers took over. The Ravers got, here's a room that they'll give to you. We'll let you put a PA up. And the Ravers were like, oh, can we come in too? And that was it. That was that over.
Yeah. No drinks sold. Great water sales.
Yeah. Top of time and came sort of later years. Like, but yeah. That scene was always great because you were just constantly performing all the time. And that whole night, like a band night where there's 5 bands on.
Yeah.
I don't know if Oma would have 5 young bands now. Yeah, I seen one band recently who are looking pretty sharp, and I thought, fair play to them. But I don't see, like, there used to be fucking, like, do you remember that? There was loads of them playing at all times. Like.
I think much the same way we have comedy now, I think I predated that with music. So I had been to a lot of the towns playing in bands before I had done it with comedy.
Yeah.
So I'd be driving through a town and go, fuck, I played that hall over there, or I did that pub, or all those places had. And I just remember Top of the Town was the one in Oma.
Yeah.
It was like the Ivy Newton Ards front page in Belfast, which is now like Maverick,
that's right, yeah.
The gay bar. Yeah, loads of places where we went through this. I ran a gig for years in Warren Point and a couple in Newry as well. So we had a great music scene there. We had fucking about 30 or 40 bands at one point.
Unreal.
Everybody was playing something.
Yeah. I don't know if that's if the fact that I can only think of one young band in Oma at the moment. Because I do remember even 15 years ago doing a thing in the local Grange Park for council and had no problem getting young bands. There was like 4 or 5 of them going on. But now you're only seeing a small amount. You're thinking, is that a sign that times there are less people interested in instruments? You know, is there less people playing, which would be a sad state of affairs if it is.
Well, you look at it, I mean, popular music is what dictates everyone's doing. More kids now want to be rappers and DJs as opposed to sitting your guitar with you can get a computer to do it for you, or you can sit and fucking letting your fingers bleed, you know?
Well, that's why I don't ever mind the likes of Ed Sheeran or Busted. Busted were, in my eyes, they were pure shite. But they were getting young people wanting to lift electric guitars. And I'm like, fucking, that's good. I know anybody that comes along, or McFly or any of them ones, if they're making young ones want to play instruments, fucking brilliant. But them days are gone.
Well, like I was the same. I came in through stuff like Blink-182 and Green Day. I was in punk bands, and I was like, oh, this is pop punk. And then you go, well, who's their influences? And then that got me into real. I was like, geez, this is right back into the 80s, the 70s, the political stuff. That taught me a lot about everything. I was like, fuck me, I get into this through a Green Day album. That's ridiculous.
Well, that's why I said this. We've talked about, me and Mackie have talked about this before, like most of our cultural and political beliefs have come from either movies or music.
Yeah. One of the things, when somebody was saying, I mean...
Somebody says to me, think of Vietnam, it's Hollywood Vietnam in my head. Like, I've never been to Vietnam, so I just go with... You know, and I just use that country as an example, but loads of other places. Yeah. See Creedence playing over there.
So it's actually illegal to make a Vietnam War movie without a Creedence song on it. Just top tip for any movie makers.
Has to be in there at all times. Look at
yeah. But no, because one of the things as well, when you say that shapes your whole identity of it, whenever I, just using Vietnam as an example, when I went to Vietnam, I was like, Jesus, there was other countries fighting here. Because we only see the movies.
Yeah, that's it.
We see Saving Private Ryan, they all storm the beach, and I'm like, where's the Canadians and the Brits and the French and the... No, America won this one. Yeah. And then you're like, I thought the Soviet Union ended the war. Shut up, you. So then you go to Vietnam, and I found out that the fucking... Actually, when I lived in Australia, I found out the Australians were in Vietnam.
Never knew out of there.
Do you know why? Because they're not in the fucking movies. At no point in a Vietnam movie does anyone ever go, oh my God, it's so hot. And you just hear we guy in the background going, oh, it's not that hot. So that all our ideas all shape. But same thing whenever you were doing like Just Rabbiting On during the pandemic, all that sort of stuff, and people were going, "Oh, I don't trust the government." I'm like, if you've only now started not trusting the government, what albums have you been listening to?
Yeah, where have you been for so long? We got a lot of that. We still do, actually.
It's like the great Bill Hicks anti-drug bit.
Yeah.
Go take all your favourite albums and burn them.
Burn them if you don't believe drugs do any good. I mean, that's that, and I find that, like, not to sound like a real old boy, but like the modern bands now are. I think we've got to the crux, and I think that came about, in my opinion, with garage and that sort of stuff, and drum and bass and that, where there's no new genre to be created. I think that we've created every genre there is. Now there's mashup of different genres or whatever, but I don't think there's a new sound to be made. I could be proved wrong.
We've gone to the extremes of everything.
We've got the extremes of everything, including dance music, punk, and all the rest, everything right through. But I think now you're gonna find maybe music's very cyclical, so it might go back. You might start seeing like the 50s rock and roll, very light guitar sort of stuff. You might see that sort of make a comeback again.
Well, that did go cyclical. That was back in the 70s. That was your like Mud, The Sweet, even Gary Glitter and Shakin' Stevens.
Every decade, I suppose, maybe you could say it's kind of come back again. But I just don't know with AI where does it go? Can music go to a different place now with AI? Do you think it's possible? Do you think they will come up with?
I think we're going to see a bunch more of like ABBA Voyage or Tupac's Hologram. We're going to see a lot more dead. We're going to see a bunch of dead musicians doing world tours.
Yeah, but music creation, do you think it's going to change much?
I think we'll give it a go. I mean, I know they've tried to get it to write songs, but they've been shite so far. The whole point of songs is emotion, and I'm being a real fucking nerd about this. This is... I don't think anybody can...
I mean, every fucking song's about heartbreak or fucking heartache or falling in love or falling out of love, or and obviously AA can't do that. That's the one thing they can't experience.
I heard that the other day. Was it if you play a country record backwards, you get your job back and the wife loves you again? The dog's not dead anymore.
Poor old country music. I think country music's quite good if it's done by people from that area.
I enjoy modern stuff now.
I can't say anything. I'm fucking singing a soul band. So I can't say whether it should come from that area or not. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I just think Irish country was just didn't do it for me.
Another place where the best of musicians are playing it because it's where the money's at.
Yeah,
but absolutely. I'm like, what are you wasting your time here playing E and A again? Dun, 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 dun. You could be doing better here, boy. So, no, that's where I love that, Merle Haggard, Conway Twitty, proper heartbreak stuff. Now, don't listen to it if you're hungover or not feeling the best.
Oh, I know.
It's not going to cheer you up.
Yeah, I'll take you into the doldrums of fucking depression. Yeah.
And then you just remember you're hungover and you're somewhere you shouldn't be. So, everything has a time and a place. Music is totally controlling of an emotion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, even with the country and the things, because I know Luke Combs, I've never seen him. But apparently he's the new fucking big thing, and my daughter will be talking about an awful lot.
Yeah.
So it still has a life force, because Garth Brooks was obviously our Luke Combs in that sense. But that's very mainstream. But I don't think I'll ever be putting a Stetson on anytime soon. Like I think in
the 90s, Ireland had a population of 7 million people, and Garth Brooks had sold 3.5 million albums here. That's generally true. Every second household on the fucking island had a Garth Brooks.
I remember there was another, just when you mentioned that about a stat, there was a weird stat around Chili Peppers' Californication album.
Here in Ireland?
Yeah, there was something very weird. I don't want to say 1 in 3 because that sounds mental, but it was like 1 in 6 or 1 in 7 households had Californication.
That makes sense. It was a massive album.
It was a massive album, but also I think it was like the peak purchasing power that people had of buying CDs and all that. So it might have been something around that, but well, hopefully somebody might find that out for us. But
there's a band who AI can write for, because this is fucking gibberish anyway.
That stuff, yeah, absolutely.
Kiedis, go for it.
Yeah.
See, sometimes when they release a new album, I'm like, he's back in the heroin. He's
you
back
wonder
on
the
it.
guy, has he had
a...
He's definitely taking a bump somewhere along
Why'd you
the
write
line
that? You CTE? The fuck happened to you?
So what's the plans for 2024, Mr. Matthews? Because this year was a big year for you, for all the scene, but I think was this your first time on the arena or the
Yeah.
Yes.
I was very graciously. Paddy was kind enough to bring me with him when he did the SSE. As Paddy says to me the very sweet thing where he calls me Paul Scholes because I'm always the first name on the team sheet. I was like, I'm okay with that ginger joke. Yeah. So I did that. Did it twice, which was great. So and then I got to do the Ulster Hall for the first time. I know you've done it like 15 times, so that was cool. Just to do.
I haven't done the arena yet. What was the difference of the arena and Ulster Hall? What did you find?
Difference of the arena. It's very much, it affects your rhythm because you say something and then you think the joke's died and then this wave of laugh hits.
Yeah.
So it's very disconcerting.
I found that in Ulster Hall first time. Yeah.
Please. Wait.
It's a weird feeling, isn't it?
It chucks your pacing because we're so used to. We love that. That's why we all love that.
It's probably only to normal humans. It's probably only milliseconds, but to us, it feels like the drag because we know how to drag things out. But it does, and I'm only talking about Ulster Hall, but it does that pause for the laughter.
Terrifying.
Is very, very scary.
Very scary.
And it does take a wee while to get used to, I have to say. But I don't know about the arena, but Jesus, I can imagine it's obviously, well, numbers wise, it's 4 or 5 times the amount of people, so it's 4 or 5 times the size.
It's 3.5. So yeah, it was good.
3 times the size.
This was the year I accidentally became a full-time comedian because I got made redundant.
Oh, that's right, you got made redundant.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So 2024, everybody, is the year of giving up. I'm going to go back to work. Cost of living's absolutely crippling me. Fuck this.
It's mad too, isn't it? And there is no money really to be made in comedy. I know obviously you could say the Paddy and them ones, but I mean that needs to be, if you want to be a club comic,
yeah,
you can't make a living of it.
Not anymore. This is one of those things where people talk about, like the wages haven't gone up in so many years.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones where I realised when I was starting doing the loads of gigs that I was saying to Leanne, who I ran a show with back, and I was like, we're mugs. We've got a tiny room and we're paying more than most people.
Yeah, I know.
She's like, what? I goes, we are fucking idiots.
Do you know what? I have that problem in dailies too. I kind of pay a bit more than I should. And I think it's because we're acts. We're comedians.
Absolutely.
And you end up going, well, I would want that. But then that's not what I want is not always what I get. So yeah. I don't know why. It is that weird thing.
Do you know who doesn't want me doing that? The lady who is redoing my mortgage at the minute. They already don't like self-employed people. Yeah. Without my fucking generosity and stupidity.
No, they definitely do not like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, 2024. Then I mean, you're gonna obviously continue with gigging away. But have you any plans? Anything above the ordinary?
Fingers crossed. Do you know what? We'll voice it into existence. Isn't this what people are all about now? Fucking manifesting.
Manifestation.
And
we are right opposite the Manifest Church, actually.
That's true as well. Actually, last time somebody said manifestation, it just reminded me of like Slimer and the Ghostbusters. Free floating phantasm. But this year I am, with a bit of luck, trying to get it all booked at the minute. I'm going to be going to America for a wee bit. And then I'm going to go back and do a wee run around Asia because I did the tour over there before. Mm-hmm. And it went very, very well. If I'm over that far, I might try and get down to Australia to see some family and do a few shows there. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to come back and I'm doing a couple more runs of my Beer Tasting with a Comedian show this year.
Nice.
So and then I will continue to run Sunflower. Sadly, our gig in Newry is closing. So
we haven't got chat. Well, that's what I want to chat to you about. So you also run gigs, like you said there. So you run the Sunflower, and yes. Is it the last Sunday?
Last Sunday of every month.
Sunday of every month. Okay.
10 comedians.
Yeah.
10 are in.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's doing 10 minutes.
Okay.
Socialist comedy. We're all getting paid the same.
That's why I'm never there.
I can't afford this man's diesel to get him out of fucking home.
Fucking 10 comedians too. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, I'm exhausted being here.
Bring that down to 6.
No, but that's my niche.
And then I'll join up.
So,
no, it's not a niche.
6 comedians and you're doing 40 minutes.
That's all right.
I'm like, you asked for a dickhead. Yeah, you're like, I want 4 people's wages.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like you get, when you do the extra time there, you get paid more, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Fucking. Is anything stronger as water?
Mickey's about here. There's a bottle of Jameson over there, so probably. Right, we're going to finish off. So we have some questions.
Oh, cool.
So we'll finish off with that. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to all our patrons, as always. Like I said, we have, you're going to get double the amount of material now because Mickey will be recording from down under. I'll record here. Next week, it's up. What's up? Oh, the video is up. So Mickey's podcast, he has uploaded from Australia. You've heard it here first, live. We don't know
Phil Collins is on the Concord.
We don't know what it's going to look like, sound like, but Mickey has done this by himself, so go and watch.
Here, Nev, you didn't sound too...
I know, it didn't sound very confident
like, what's up?
Next week, I have 2 guests on.
Sweet.
And fuck me, Pink, it is going to be one that you will never forget. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but
off camera, obviously.
I'll tell you off camera, but it is, trust me. When I put up next week what the questions or who they're for, you're going to shit a fucking brick.
Keezy has reformed Bros for one appearance in fitness.
Actually, they would make quite a Bros, all right. Right, so Phillips in. All right, gents, how you getting? Happy 2024. Did you have a good Christmas? Plenty of food and drink. What did you get? And what was your highlight gig of 2023? Thanks, boys. Highlight gig of 2023.
Highlight gig of 2023. I mean, at this point, they all just blur together, don't they? Highlight gig. Highlight gig. Well, doing the arenas was great. I never got to do that before, so it was nice to put my hand up and say, I've done that. That was cool.
Yeah, for me, it was probably the Opera House or Murphy. Even though I've done it before, it was one of the nights was really fucking good, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, there's been quite a few good. This year was really good. You know, you had the festival with McCartney that time. It wasn't really a festival, it was 3 gigs, but great crack.
Here, festival enough for a fucking town the size of Enniskillen. Exactly, fair play to the man. Putting that together is no mean feat.
No, absolutely. I wasn't belittling it. I just didn't want them to get in the grief for setting the festival. But
my people making fun of Enniskillen again. Fucking pervy bastards.
Would not. And I'm trying to think where else we were, because then we'd lost the big. Obviously, that was the end of that festival. Edinburgh.
You went to Edinburgh, that's right, yeah. How was that?
I didn't have my best gig. I think I had my worst gig ever in Edinburgh this year.
Memorable nonetheless.
No, it wasn't, because I was that drunk. I don't remember.
Oh, I remember the story, actually. Yeah, you have told it on here. Apologies.
Yeah, so I'm not going to do that ever
drunk
again.
Drunk too, you just stick to your botanicals. I don't mean gin.
Yeah, I you know, for me, I think the two live podcasts, I really enjoyed. So we did June and December there. And
I called down to the June when it was raucous.
It was fucking. I think, yeah, I do believe genuinely. I'm not like an uptease, but I think we have the best fucking audience in the lot. Always good crack and always up for it. Like so, hopefully we'll have another one going this year sometime. We'll let you know. Right, happy New Year, lads. When are you on tour, Connor? Need to plan my 2024 Keezy fix. Hello, Darren. Welcome to Darren Yumz.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if I have nearly the show finished, so I should be out sometime this year. I don't know where or when. I don't know. Figure that out. I think I'm gonna have to go to Shine and get them to take it on.
You're not self-booking?
I did that last time round, and it was a lot of effort.
Tough. Adds a lot of work to your stuff, doesn't it?
A lot of work and stuff. If I didn't have the day job, I could do it and deal with it, but I have that too.
People saying stuff to you like, and you need a microphone. You're like, aye, I do.
Aye. Yeah, especially some of the venues I went to, because they weren't like, obviously they're not fucking Millennium Forums or anything, but so there were small rooms and pubs, and then, as you say, you had to find out, do you have a mic?
Yeah.
Do you have a light on the stage?
Does this place have a door? What's the windows like? Is it freezing in here?
Is there fire exits? I can get out of here quick. So I'll let you know there will be something coming up. Hey lads, happy New Year. What do you make of all the silly Facebook posts the past few weeks labelled Merry Christmas from the Smiths or whatever? Seeing some fella you used to know in matching pajamas looking like a hostage for the missus, dog and baby, always in front of their B&M Christmas tree. Fuck off with your Merry Christmas. It winds me up.
I love that, because I've been doing a bit about exactly that.
Well, here's my thing, right? For years, and I mean years, if you were Americans would do all that, dress up all the same, right? And then, like, say, Have I Got News for You, or Mock the Week, or the Blame Game, or anybody, they would use that picture to go, that's a serial killer family. You know what I mean? That was always known as like they're a weird bunch of bastards because they're all dressed the same. And now we're all doing it. I would always say we. I'm not doing it.
No, I'm not.
Everybody's fucking, and I'm watching, lads, and I know every fella I know that I seen at Christmas time, and I know you did not have any say in that whatsoever.
I always say, if there's anybody ever looks as dead behind the eyes, is that man getting this photo took.
And lads, all I'll say to you is, fucking hope you got something for it. I hope you got at least a hand job or something for that level of
Hey, it's Christmas. Aim higher. Finger in the bum or something.
Well, no. They'd save that for New Year's Eve.
Happy New Year.
It's just, so cringeworthy. And I don't know. It's women searching for the perfect Christmas, right? But as we all know, there is no such thing as perfect anything. So they keep searching and keep searching and searching, and every couple of years it gets worse and worse and more.
It puts pressure on and leads to rows.
We used to have one train house, we now have 4. We used to, there's all building up. We used to have fucking one set of one area for wee Christmas ornaments. Now there's 6 areas all. It's like, what are you looking for? And like they're still no happier than they were before they put them up. So I don't understand.
It's the Hallmark movies. I blame them. It's the perfect Christmas.
They're looking for this perfect thing. So then these pajamas, and the worst thing is, it looked like, from any photograph I could see, there were 3 types available to buy around the country, and everybody bought the same 3 types. They all had, even Conor.
Primark sold out.
Even Conor McGregor.
Was he doing it?
McGregor was sitting in Dunn Stores pajamas because the missus went and got them, and he was told, just, you're going to have to put these on. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's some fellas out there going, no, I wanted to do it, and I'm part of it, and fair fucks to you. But just remember, it was always a serial killer move back in America when you were all dressed the same.
Yeah,
like,
true as well.
Jobs.
It's very, very Heaven's Gate cult job, isn't it? Like?
It's very strange. And then I get a lot of grief in my house because I don't do it. And I'll get into the Christmas spirit. I wore my Christmas Bonneville's jumper. You know what I mean? I'll get into the Christmas spirit. But I'm not going to sit and look like a fucking...
Jeez, I saw the Bonnevilles the other night. They weren't even there.
Where?
Voodoo in Belfast.
Oh, no way.
I got a wee guest list, so I brought the boys down some booze for Christmas because I'm a good spot like that. But I know the matching stuff is, and even then, see the Christmas trees thing as well. Hey, Christians, you stole that off the pagans, all right? That's not even fucking Christmassy.
No, it's
stealing all the fun stuff.
It's just this weird.
It is a weird. It's a cult of that's online, so I must. Whereas I don't like that.
It's that as well, and then this eternal search for perfection.
Yes.
And I don't know. My thing is, how could you be happy if you're constantly searching for something that's non-existent and you never find it? How are you're setting yourself up for fucking failure all the time?
Sometimes in life, there's a point where you can just sit and relax, and it's the name of, like, whenever I have to invoice you. What's the name of your company, Connor?
Do rightly.
Do rightly.
Do
See,
rightly
sometimes on Christmas it'll fucking do rightly.
Do rightly. Exactly. It's just a day.
And I cooked for 6 people yesterday, and I did a bit of slow cooking stuff, and the dinner came out, and it'll fucking do rightly. There was nothing wild or extravagant. People need to remember as well that this is a younger generation who existed. I mean, when we existed, it was, highly flammable Christmas decorations, and we all had open fires.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember tinsel in the 80s and 90s. It's very dangerous.
Not only open fires, but drunken adults smoking fags.
Exactly.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Over the dinner.
Yeah.
While they're cooking it.
Yeah, and they had chip pans. So that, and even then versus that, your parents' generation, when they were like, I got an orange for Christmas.
Yes, I know.
And they're like, so everybody, fuck up, you're getting way more than you used to.
It's just calm it down a bit. It's just, don't need to go for this fucking... It's all about aesthetics for them. So the photo will look good if we all match. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You absolute...
I personally know people that do the matching jammies, and I know every Christmas they fucking kill each other.
I just don't get it.
And I sit in my wee house having a beer with my dog, and I have a great time.
It's like a form of virtue signaling. We are the perfect family. We're all so... Look at us. Yeah. We're all so perfect.
The bodies are in the rose bushes. Yeah.
And that night when they were fucking, or the night before, when they were building presents, building toys, baiting fuck at each other, going, you're nothing but a cunt. But here, listen. So as long as we're keeping the money flowing through Duns and Primark with their fucking pajamas.
Absolutely. Then people need the money.
As long as them wee wains in China are still fucking working the sweatshops, you fucking go on ahead as long as you're happy.
They should be glad of a job, to be honest. In this economy, you mad?
Right, next up, Happy New Year, both. If you were to play music together, Darren on the drums and you on vocals, what song would you go for? What would be our tune?
Well, I mean, I like all the stuff you do with the soul band, so what's...
Oh, aye, so we could do something in that.
Any bit faster? Any big rock tunes you're fond of?
In the soul band? No.
No, not in the soul band, just in general.
Oh, right.
I'm more of a rocker, like, so whatever you're fond
we could fire in... Do you know what we want to do with the blues band? Susie Q.
Oh, tune.
Under the recommendation of Mr. Colin Geddes. He was like, you should sing that. And I was like, I will. And then we did it. And I was like, oh, I do like that. Yeah, something like that maybe. But, I mean, I'd have to play guitar. I mean, you couldn't just sing on drums. You need to have some... We could pull in Andy McGibbon or somebody from...
Well, I mean, if it's only the two of us, it's going to be about a White Stripes then. I get a wig.
White Stripes, like, yeah, okay. So we'll do Seven Nation Army or something.
Yes, because I'm a terrible drummer as well, so it'll suit me lovely. Just me and Meg.
Well, Jack can play guitar and I can't, but we'll not say that, sure.
We'll offset it.
Yeah. Well, lads, Happy New Year to you. What's something you would like to achieve in 2024?
a favorable rate from a mortgage. No, I just want to.
A mortgage?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a mortgage at the moment.
Oh, it's a pain in the balls.
Just one, just anyone.
Yeah. I just had to prove that I haven't killed anybody in the last 10 years, and I'm like, think about it. So
I don't know if I could prove that.
how do I prove what never happened?
Yeah. Right up. How would you prove you haven't killed nobody?
Answers on a postcard. It's fucking turned into Blue Peter. How would you do it? Something for 2024. I wanna travel again. I mean, I've come to the realization. I think I like travel, and stand up lets me do it. I'm not sure I love stand up, and I end up traveling.
Oh, okay, right, yes.
Because it was there first, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice fucking nice thing to have as a motivation to get you going. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
get a plane again. Fuck out of here for a while.
I don't. I have. My dream would be to bring a show to Edinburgh. I have a show that I've about caring for Ruby or special needs. So basically trying to put the comedy into the whole caring experience and all that sort of stuff. And so a theme show. But the dream would be to bring it to Edinburgh for a couple of weeks. But I don't, you have to be...
You're talking 2 weeks off work and...
2 weeks off work I could
the
get.
fact it costs thousands.
It's that. It's actually leaving then the caring completely to my wife for 2 weeks, which wouldn't be fair to anybody. It's a team effort. It has to be two of us. Like so.
Even then, coming from that idea, the wild thing is, like, the lads have been going to Edinburgh for years, and I explained to them that I flew to Australia, did 2 festivals, stayed in my cousin's house in Perth, stayed in my mate's house in Adelaide, and made money, and came home. And everyone was like, I went to Edinburgh, it cost me $4,000. I'm like, what the fuck?
Nah. That's the thing. The only way it could work for me is if somebody were to bring me to,
You need a production company to go, on, son.
So if the show's good enough, maybe, you never know. That's what I would like to see. Right, shout out to the medics, and hello boys, happy new year to you both. I'm just wondering if any of you have a song that always reminds you of a specific period of your life. For me, it's Stereophonics Dakota. Reminds me of driving through the Lake District on my way to the caravan in the back of my daddy's space wagon on a summer's day. Best holiday of all time from my childhood. Good tune.
That sounds like a lovely memory. That's really cool.
That was a nice memory. You know, the one thing I'll say is I have this for all of my life. I have like songs that I will like. I am like yourself, a bit of a nerd with music, so I kind of live my life through music. So
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah. So I like if somebody will say to me, think of a song, and I was like, give me the year.
Yeah.
Give me the year. What was it doing? And I know exactly what I was listening to. I know what and so a song will take me back to a place so many times.
Give me context.
Yeah.
Or if somebody plays something, I'm all...
Yeah. Or just trigger a memory, because everything I would do would be based or so if it's not directly in my ears via headphones or earpods, I'm fucking, it's playing throughout the house, it's in the car, it's always on from I was young. I went to sleep with headphones on, listening to music, you know what I mean? So music's always been in. So yeah, my phases of listening to music could be very easily pinpointed down to certain life things.
If I give you a situation, could you give me a song?
More, not really a situation, more of like a song, and I could tell you the situation I associate with the song. That sort of way.
Okay. I was going to say something like, like when you met your wife first, or was there a song or that kind of, or like not even a first dance, that kind of stuff.
When I first courted, as we would say, when I first courted the wife
in
Sally's, it was You're Still the One, Shania Twain playing in the background. Back in the days when there was the erection section.
You're still the one. And at that point, she wasn't even the one.
She wasn't even the one. She was just a doll.
He was just trying to give her one.
I wasn't even trying to give her one. She was trying to get a light off me. She wanted a light of a fag. She was carrying a big fucking pint of cider and blackcurrant, like a classic chick that she is.
How long ago it was? You could smoke in fucking pubs.
You could smoke in pubs, and the ladies were carrying pints of blackcurrant and cider. That's the fucking good old days.
I love it.
So that was in the background. Because she doesn't have any inclination towards music or any associations with it. It's me that remembers the songs for things. So I'd say to her, what was the song playing when we first kissed? I don't know. No clue. Music's not under her mindset at all.
Can I tell you something weird? I once basically was glad to be rid of a girlfriend because we were talking about music, and I was saying, that fucking song brilliant. And you hear the production and like how that sounds and how it makes you feel. And she was like, what do you mean?
Oh, good.
And I was like how music makes you feel. She was like, it's just a song, Darren. And I was like, well, this isn't going to last.
Yeah. I live with that day and daily.
Fair fucks, dude.
You live with two now? That's fucking...
Is it that'd kill me? I'd be like,
I don't know.
Fucking listen to this, listen
but
to this.
Then I also think too, because I thought of this before, the whole thing of opposites attract. If I had somebody that was arguing with me about then the specifics of the sonics of the song, I think that might fucking annoy me more than somebody that doesn't pay attention.
I do have a joke for that. I mean, when you talk about opposites attract, you know, like I love music and she likes Coldplay, so that's fine.
Everybody has their day. Coldplay's first album was the fucking coolest thing that ever came out.
Here, I've seen them live. I can't complain. They were very, very good. Took me by surprise.
Whenever that happened, I have to say, we went to see U2 in Slane and they were supporting them. Or one of the Sport Acts, and that's. I'm
trying to think of a particular song that grabs me. An example. American Idiot by Green Day, 2004. CD Times in Newry was a wee CD shop where the owner used to just smoke weed behind the counter and didn't give a fuck. It was great. Lovely fella called Paul got me into some of the best albums ever, and I have that connection because he gave me the album. He got the delivery on Saturday. He wasn't to put it out until Monday. But I had bought all my other Green Day albums off him, so he gave me the album 2 days early, which is highly illegal. And so that's my connection. I hear that song, and I go, that's me and Paul. And
somebody could do that because you weren't going to go home and take a photograph of it and post it on social media. You know what I mean?
Yes, true.
You could just go home, and the only person to find out was maybe your brother or somebody that lived close to you. That was it. Yeah.
I've never texted one of my mates. It cost me 10p. And was like, meet me at my house. And he came down. We listened to the album through first go, and we were 2 days before. So that's a connection memory.
Yeah,
where I have that. So that's a good one. That's a nice memory. Sitting with one of the lads who I used to play in a band with, and we were both 17 and 18, and going, "This is class."
Yeah. Or I have vivid memories of where I heard something for the first time that blew me away.
Yes.
You know, a track or a song or a band. I'm like, where the fuck? I can remember where I was and when it happened. So I'm very weird to that when it comes to the music end of things. But what was your first? Well, this is the thing. So are you we're at the same age, are you? I'm 42.
38.
38. So there's that, because Mickey's 36, and there seems like there's a big generational gap between me and him sometimes, even though it's only a few years.
I have a brother 5 years younger than me, totally fucking separate.
Yeah, it's also different. So I was so into music that my first album was a tape when I was 6. So I can't think of any 6-year-old at the moment who's dying to buy an album for their birthday when they turn 6. But so it was Bad, Michael Jackson was the first in 87, was it? And I remember that day getting it and fucking, I mean, playing that thing, both sides, young ones, sides, playing both sides over and over and fucking idolizing it. And then the CDs came in then for, I think my first CD was 93 or something like that. So you would have been roughly around the same when CDs were starting to come in.
My musical journey started with one guy who I credit for ruining my life. A guy called Stevie Miller. I worked with him in Dunn Stores in Newry. And when the first day we started, just two awkward 16-year-olds, he was like, "So like, what sort of music do you like?" And I was like, "I don't really like listen to music. Just whatever, you know. My brother listens to music, and I play football and stuff." And he was like, "You don't what?" I goes, "All right, I'll see you tomorrow." The next day, he just had a stack of CDs, and he went, "Go home and listen to all of them." I was like, okay. And it was like
nothing better.
It was like Pennywise, Green Day, Bad Religion, Slipknot. I remember listening to that, being like, that's way too heavy. Now I'm like, that's not heavy enough. But stuff like that, where this was just like, here's a sample.
Yeah.
And I remember I had the Discman, and I took it on holiday with me, and it fucking blew my mind.
Yeah. And I made Bondi was the same. Fucking Ocean Colour Scene and fucking Bell and Sebastian and Smiths and all these sort of bands I'd never heard of before. He was at university in England and came back all these fucking dressed like the lead singer of fucking Ocean Colour Scene with cravat,
the parka,
a cravat and all. And it was like, what
here, look, that's one for the comment section. Everybody message in what's like a defining era, a song, an album. There's something about it that you sit in your room, and this is the whole thing where maybe people are listening because it's the availability of music. Yeah, where you had to sit or you had to spend money on it too.
But you also you know and then because 2003 was the first iPod. iPods sort of were the death of albums.
Yeah,
you listened to an album the whole way through, and then it got to the point where you had an iPod, so you could make a playlist and you skip some song, you know. And I do miss the value of a full album. I'm
nerdy enough that I've made mix CDs for ex-girlfriends.
Oh,
when I was a teenager,
mix tips.
Love it.
Mix tips. I found one recently actually, and I was like, oh my god, the fucking cringe on it.
John Cusack standing outside the window with a ghetto blaster.
Yeah, that's what it was like. I swear to God. What was on it? Fucking, what did you hear? What was on it? Because I had to go then and make a playlist
of what you'd found,
of what I'd found on the tape or on the liner notes of the tape. I didn't even have a tape player to play it when I found it. "You're Gorgeous" by Baby Bird. Remember that tune?
What a song!
Wild tune that was on it. And
that's in a.
Do you know what else is on it? Clementine.
By Mark Owen.
By Mark Owen from Take That. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if that was to try and impress her or was she a Take That fan. I don't know why I put Mark Owen solo song on it.
My older brother Declan had that on tape. He bought it as a double A-side single.
Maybe. Fucking deadly.
What a tune.
And B-sides, that's another thing. People don't get B-sides.
I went to see The Darkness before Christmas and they played their first album start to finish and they played all the B-sides as well.
No way.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking brilliant, actually.
It was class because my mate was like, remember B-sides? I was like, oh yeah.
B-sides and rarities.
But you look at the master plan, the Oasis album, it's all B-sides and rarities. Covers. That's the whole album of like, there's a collection of everything that we put out on, and some of them are better than the fucking singles.
Oh, aye.
Acquiesce.
Acquiesce was a great one.
Yeah.
The master plan itself was a
Half a world away.
Just on that note, was there something happened with Oasis last night or the night before? Did they set up an Instagram page? There was some scandal about that. I don't know. Something happened. Oasis has an Instagram page and they now have 12. They're following 12 people and a couple of them are journalists. And then Noel and Liam are together for the first time in a... I don't know. So
I have tickets for Liam, so if Noel could show up and play it, that'd be class.
Basically, what the gist I got from it was everybody was getting excited because they thought, oh, fuck, this is a sign of a show. Which is, at this stage of the game, it's beyond stupid that they didn't do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely maybe he's on the anniversary tour now, so that's the one I'm going to, but I would obviously
They could finish. I don't know what venue would even be big enough. I don't know if they could get a venue big enough for what it could hold.
If you watch...
They could be the first million people concert, like, easily.
That's already happened. Grateful Dead did that in Central Park.
No, I mean, UK. I mean,
actually, their own spot. Yeah. Did you ever see...
I think, don't quote me on this, but I think somebody random, like Rod Stewart, in Brazil or something, holds the record, or Elton John or something like that holds
like
the
Rock
record.
in Rio, one of those big things.
Something like with the most audience attendance, but yeah, Oasis would be the only ones I would see would be fucking.
There is the great one in the is it Supersonic, the documentary, or one of the documentaries where they're talking about where they did Nebworth, they did 7 nights at Nebworth, right. And they went a fifth of the population of the UK tried to get tickets for this gig. Why the fuck did we not do a month? You don't have the tour. Yeah. Just put it on sale and they come to you.
Just go to one venue. Yeah, do the Peter Kay thing.
Oh, actually, this will suit in as well because my idea for my chair name. Mm-hmm. So my one's going to be Camping Chair.
Camping Chair.
Yeah.
We're running out of seat based names.
Because mine was easy to travel with, has a wee thing to hold your beer, and often found at music festivals.
Yes.
So at least it makes sense because Ronnie stole Drumsoil on me, bastard.
And collapses if I sit on them.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll try that out for you, man.
Nice add-on.
So there we are. So the Camping Chair, that's good because I mean we're like now because the thing is the chair nicknames was fine.
Yes.
Because we had a guest literally once every 5 months or something. It was very rare we would have a guest. Then he fucks off and gets himself in love in fucking Summer Bay or wherever the fuck he is. And then I have to
Wolf
go.
Creek.
So then we're going week by week by week, and then I'm running out of all these furniture based things. So. We may have to move away from seat-based things. Deck chair is also used on holidays, so we might have to go for what holiday item are you in the future. But we've got the camping chair, so that's all right.
I'd be sun cream. Yeah,
absolutely. Darren Matthews, thank you very much. Hope to see a lot more of you in 2024. If you don't know Darren, check out his Instagram and his socials. Find out where he's playing. Sunflower is the last Sunday of every month.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll be in the arena sometime soon.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yourself?
Yeah, you headline, I'll open.
Lovely. I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. As always, spread the word. Tag us, do all that crack, put us on fucking socials because we're useless at it. And we'll see you next week for what could shape up to be the most explosive episode we've ever done.
Oh, I want to hear this.
Good night.